I'd like to welcome each and everyone that's on this call tonight. My name is Richard Klein. I'm from the United States Virgin Islands, and I'm a vet. And my journey with Juice Plus started a year and 4 months ago. I was in the spa and working out, that's what I normally do. And a friend of mine came to me and mentioned Juice Plus. And I didn't know what it was. And when she started extending to me, I said, okay, I'll try. She said, oh, wait, by the way, I'll give you some of mine and you could take it and let me know what you think about it. So when she gave it to me, I went home and I took the 4 capsules. And next thing I was sitting there, I just feel my body start jumping. I said, whoa, what's going on? Because the first thing she told me going to happen is I'm getting energy. And so with that, I went back to the spa and I'd like to do cycling. And that's the spin class where they have the stationary bicycle. And when we do the class, it's about 45 minutes to an hour. And within that time frame, I was doing like 16 miles. But when I started getting the juice plus in my body, in an hour and 40 minutes, I was doing 40 miles. Right after that, I would wash off, go right into Zumba. And right after Zumba, I'll go and lift weights. And all that energy, I was like, I'm in, I'm hooked. And so I've been with Juice Plus ever since, and that's my story. And I'm going to introduce AJ. He's a partner and he's going to give you his story. AJ, are you there?
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Thank you. My story started through my mom, actually, because she started in the business. I was as skeptical as I always am to anything working, actually, working and fulfilling on the promises that they say they're going to, fulfill on. And I'm sure we've all heard of different companies that, preach one thing and then they don't actually fulfill on the promises. Juice Plus, on the contrary, is one of those that I have noticed a big change with my medical, I would say. If you guys don't know what hypothyroidism is, it's basically like a condition that with your thyroid runs slower. So you have less energy, you have less motivation and all that stuff. After I was on the medication and pills, and I hate taking medication and pills for anything, after taking Juice Plus, I realized I'm not taking any medication and I have no problems with anything. I'm actually more energetic. Now I want to go to the gym at 7 a.m. I wake up earlier. It's just so many different changes that I can't really bottle up in the 3 minutes that I was given right now. But what I can say is this: it's a lot different feeling when you're consuming everything you're supposed to consume versus just a piece of broccoli, maybe. When you get it all in, and I hate eating vegetables, I'll be the first one to say I don't like eating vegetables at all. So when I have the Juice Plus, it replaces the need to have vegetables, or at least to me it does. And it also makes me want to go to vegetables a little bit more because I'm already getting them in the system. It's what my body's used to. So I'm kind of craving those things now. That's my story with Juice Plus. And that's why I'll stay.
Unmute yourself, Richard. You're muted.
Unmute yourself, Rich.
Okay, thank you, AJ, for that story. Now I'm going to call upon Frank to give his story. Frank?
Thank you, Richard. My name is Frank Fatter, Walitia's husband, and I started taking Juice Plus about 2 years ago, but not really consistently, kind of off and on, just to support my wife. But then about 14 months ago, I switched my diet drastically and found that I wasn't consuming any fruits and vegetables at all with my new diet, which made Juice Plus that much more important. So since then, I've been taking it consistently. Actually, it's part of my evening regimen. I actually take my Juice Plus at night, just before I go to bed. I take the capsules, glass of water, I go right to bed. But since changing my diet and really focusing on the Juice Plus, from last April, I've lost 50 pounds, and my blood pressure and fasting glucose, which was a little bit high, have now both stabilized. So definitely feeling good and continuing to take it.
But thank you, Frank, for the story. I'm going to call upon Azalee.
Thank you. Thank you, guys. I never get tired of hearing these stories. So wonderful to hear them, especially the ones from the men. And that's so wonderful. We have another special guest, Dr. Joseph H. Winston. Dr. Winston was born in Bristol, Belgium in 1935. He's married to a beautiful woman, Arlita. Been married for 61 years. And together they have 5 children, 28 grandchildren, 21 great-grandchildren. He is a 1961 graduate of Emory University School of Medicine in Atlanta, Georgia. And over the next 5 years, he received his training in general medicine and psychiatry in the U.S. Navy. From 1976 to the present, Dr. Winston has been in private practice of family medicine in Morristown, New Jersey, and has recently retired. But he practiced for family medicine for more than 50 years. Although Dr. Winston was trained to treat disease, his passion now recently has been to encourage healthy living and preventing disease. So Dr. Winston, would you please tell us how you're doing that?
There we
Okay.
go. Can you hear me? Richard, I'm a vet too. 5 years in the Navy, and I ended up at Paris Island. So I've had some experience as well. Not only was I in the Navy and a doctor, but I was a skeptic. A very good friend of mine told me about Juice Plus about 20 some years ago. And I put him off for 10 years because I thought it was a bunch of nonsense. And there are 2 good reasons for that. I studied for 20 years to cure disease, not prevent disease. And so like most doctors, we have to be convinced as to how important prevention is. And it was only about 15 years ago that this doctor finally got through to me, and I read what Juice Plus actually does. You can read all about what it does in general, but I'll tell you what it did for me. I was still practicing at the age of 70, but I would take a nap for 15 minutes at noon because I would get too tired for the afternoon. After I was on Juice Plus, about 6 months or so, I noticed that I wasn't taking a nap. And it wasn't that I was unwilling to, I just didn't need it. And I continued to work until I was 77 without taking a nap because I didn't feel the necessity of it. About 10 years ago, I developed Parkinson's disease. You must know somebody who has Parkinson's disease, and they're all bent over and they're weak and they talk funny and so on. Well, the difference between me and the average person who gets Parkinson's disease is Juice Plus nutrition. I take actually double dose. Some of us doctors feel that if you have a severe chronic disease, that can be helpful. And here I am now in my 10th year of Parkinson's disease. Now, you can tell that my voice is not great. I am not quite as steady. I can still climb the stairs okay. And I'm doing better than any Parkinsonian man I've ever had in my practice. And over the 50 years of practice, I've had a number of Parkinsonians, and I have done better. So has Juice Plus cured me? No, but it's made me much better than I would have guessed. So I got so excited about what Juice Plus could do 15 years ago that I started telling all my patients. And for 4 months running, I averaged more than 20 customers from my patients who began taking Juice Plus. every month. And a lot of them decided to join the company and tell others as well. So Juice Plus, for me personally, has made a very significant contribution. And I could tell you also what it has done for some of the members of my family who had cancer. But I think I was allotted 3 minutes, and I think I've shot it here.
No, you had longer, Dr. Joe. You had 10 minutes. Everybody else had 3 minutes.
How do you know I have 10 minutes worth? Well, I'll tell you about one study, which I think is the study which impresses doctors more than any other study. You don't have to be a doctor to know that the main cause of death in the United States is cardiovascular disease. That's either heart attacks or strokes. And Juice Plus, almost 10 years ago, did a very important study. They got a group of people in their 30s and 40s in good health, and they divided them into 3 groups. They did the brachial artery resistance test, which is a test on the arm which tests blood flow. Now, we have known as physicians that if a person has 50 grams of fat in one meal, they have a 40% reduction in blood flow through all of their arteries. This is why sometimes people die during holiday meals, because they get all that fat. They already have some coronary artery disease, and it shuts their arteries down, and they get a heart attack or a stroke and die. So anyhow, so they took this group of people and divided them into 3 groups. Group number 1 was placebo. Group number 2 was fruit and vegetables. Group number 3 was fruit, vegetables, and berries. They did the brachial artery resistance test and sent them over to McDonald's, and they all came back and they had a standard McDonald's breakfast, which has 50 grams of fat. They came back, and all of them had at least a 40% drop in their blood flow in their arms. So they went home and did what they were supposed to do. They either were on placebo, they were on fruit and vegetables, or on fruit, vegetables, and berries. And none of them knew what they were on. This was all blinded. They came in 30 days later, actually 28 days later, and they checked their brachial artery resistance test. They all had the 40% drop, went across to McDonald's, had their 50-gram meal, and came back. Those on placebo actually dropped 45%, but that was just a happenstance. Those on fruit and vegetables dropped 18%. Those on fruit, vegetables, and berries dropped 3%. When I saw that study, I started taking the trio. From that time on, I told all my patients to take the trio. That's the leading cause of death, and all you have to do is take Juice Plus and eliminate that as a risk in your life in the United States. I thought you'd like that.
Yes, that was wonderful.
Oh, I've got to tell you, at that time, he went down to a McDonald's and bought a McDonald's hamburger. And he put it on the bookcase, and he just left it open to see if any bugs would eat it, to see if there were any preservatives. Do you know that no bugs would eat it, and we still have that hamburger 14 years later, and it looks like it came right out of McDonald's. With the pickle there, the ketchup there. You're not going to need to be embalmed.
Wow, what a wonderful, wonderful story.
Isn't that amazing?
That's amazing, amazing. So I'll turn it back over. Thank you so very much, Dr. Winston. And we'll turn it to Richard. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Dr. Winston, for your story. And I want to thank each person that was on the panel that gave their story. And I'm going to open now for questions. If you have questions, you could ask a question to any of the panel members. Any questions? A lot of times when you have this information, you may not want to respond right away, but once you get home, then you start thinking. But if you have any questions, you get for the person that got you on this call, and they will be able to answer your questions. I just want to thank everybody for being on this call. Thank you.
Thank you for inviting us,
Thank you,
Richard.
Richard.
Welcome.
Thank you.
Thank everybody.
Right away.
Thank everybody.
I know. Just as Richard said, anybody, if you have any questions later, just ask whoever invited you to call, and they'll be able to
Yes.
answer.
Yes.
Hi, Asia. Oh, I'm gonna stop the recording.
Bye, Ken. Bye, Joyce.
Hi, Asia. Where did Asia go?